Away Charanarvinda, His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti, Vaisnava Bhaktavrinda ki jai, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gauru Premanande, Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayadmadhiraye Nashtaprayestu avadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuki Yam Syanubhavam Akilam Sutisharamekam Adhyatmadipamathithir Satam Tamundam Samsarina Karunaya Purana Guyam Tambyasasунamupayami Guror Muninam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, The Creative Impetus. Chapter 1, text number 13, The Activities of Maharaj Priyabrata. Bhavayanasaya cha karma kartu
Bhavayanasaya cha karma kartu
Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya
Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya
Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Abhyaktadishtam janatanga dhatti
Abhyaktadishtam jagatanga dhate
Vayanasaya cha karma kartum
Bhavayanasaya cha karma kartu
Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya
Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya
Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Abhyaktadishtam janatanga dhatti
Abhyaktadishtam janatanga dhate
Vayanasaya cha karma kartum
Bhavayanasaya cha karma kartu
Sokaya mohaya sada bhayaya
Sukaya mohaya sada bhayaya
Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Sukaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Abhyaktadishtam janatanga dhatti
Abhyaktadishtam janatanga dhate Bhavayanasaya cha karma kartu
Vayanasaya cha karma kartum
Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya
Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya
Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Abhyaktadishtam janatanga dhate
Abhyaktadishtam janatanga dhatti Vayanasaya cha karma kartum Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam Avyaktadishtam janatanga dhatti
Bhavayanasaya cha karma kartu
Vayanasaya cha karma kartum
Shokaya
Shokaya mohaya
mohaya sada bhayaya
sada bhayaya
Sukaya deha yogam
Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Avyakadishtam janadam dadhate Bhavaya nashaya cha karma kartum
Vayanasaya cha karma kartum
Lokaya mohaya sadhavayaya
Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya
Sukaya dukaya cha deha yogam
Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam
Avyakadishtam janatam gadate
Abhyakta dishtam janatang adhati
Bhavaya nashaya cha karma kartum
Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya Sukhaya dukhaya cha deha yogam Abhyakta dishtam janatang adhati Vavaya for birth, Nasaya for death, Cha also karma activity, Kartum to do, Sokaya for bereavement, Mohaya for illusion, Sada always, Vayaya for fear, Sukhaya for happiness, Dukhaya for distress, Cha also, Deha Yogam connection with the material body, Abhyakta by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dishtam directed, Janata the living entities, Anga O Priyabrata, Dhatte accept. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Priyabrata, by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities accept different types of bodies for birth and death, activity, lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers, and happiness and distress. Please repeat. My dear Priyabrata, by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities accept different types of bodies for birth and death, activity, lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers, and happiness and distress. Purport. Every living entity who has come to this material world has come here for material enjoyment. But according to his own karma, activities, he must accept a certain type of body given to him by material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3:27, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha. Everything is being done by Prakriti, material nature, under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Modern scientists do not know why there are varieties of bodies in 8.400,000 million forms. The fact is that all these bodies are ordained for the living entities by the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the living entities' desires. He gives the living entities freedom to act as they like, but on the other hand, they must accept a body according to the reactions of their activities. Thus, there are different types of bodies. Some living entities have short duration of life, whereas others live for fantastic durations. Every one of them, however, from Brahma down to the ant, acts according to the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is sitting in everyone's heart. as conformed in Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Sarvasya chaham ridhi sannivisto mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Quote, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Unquote. It is not a fact, however, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives direction to certain living entities in one way and other living entities in another way. The truth is that every living entity has a certain desire, and the Supreme Lord gives him a chance to fulfill it. The best course, therefore, is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and act according to his desire. One who does so is liberated. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayan Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesya Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Bhavaya nasaya chakarma kartum sokaya mohaya sada bhayaya sukhaya dukkhaya chadeha yogam abhyakta dishtam janatang dhatte. Very clear message spoken by who is speaking? Nagmuni? No. Lord Brahmaji? Yeah, Lord Brahmaji is speaking about this fact of life that the birth, death, disease, fear, all that we experience is all related to body. Even though spirit soul experience this happiness and distress and fear, bhaya, soka, moha, the person who experiences the soul, but soul itself, himself does not suffer, but the body suffers or enjoys. And this is all happening because the soul somehow is thinking that he is misidentifying himself with the body. I am this body. On account of my all activities, I am experiencing this. This is very, very interesting. So pure devotees who are completely detached from this material association, they do not feel such pain, pleasure, fear, and everything. Even though they fear, they think that this is only pertaining to my body. Just like if I shoot a shadow of you with an arrow, the body will not feel any pain because I am not actually hitting the body. So the soul, the realized, self-realized soul, the devotees, pure devotees, they think this body as a covering for their spirit soul. So they take it as like a shadow, and anything happens to the body will not affect them. And this is the plan of the Supreme Lord, to create this suffering to the living being. Not only suffering, the whole set, enjoyment, suffering, duality, dvandatma, dvanda, moha. And throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is carrying the same theme, that rise up and beyond this experiencing pain and sorrow. At all time, Krishna is focusing that please rise above. Do not experience all these things. These are only for body. And Srimad Bhagavatam, same thing is going on in 7th canto. When Parikshit Maharaj is asking question from Sukadeva Goswami about why God is partial to demigods and he kills demons. If God is equal to all, why these things happen? Why he is favoring somebody and he is not favoring somebody, he is punishing someone. So in that beautiful question of Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami, he brings very important point here while while Narada Muni answering to Yudhishthir Maharaj about Sisupal and Dantabakra. They were two brothers and very envious of Krishna from the very birth. Sisupalji, you heard Sisupal, how many offenses he committed for Krishna? 100. Until 99 offenses, Lord Sri Krishna Krishna was tolerating and keeping in his mind, okay, it's okay, don't worry. Let him speak. But at the 100th, what did he do? What did Krishna do? Chakra, he used his weapon. And then after that, what happened to Sisupal? He merged into Krishna's body. So is that bad or good? See, is Krishna mad at him? So this is the very important point Narada Muni is talking there. I will talk about that today mainly. Why we experience all these things. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in another part, Krishna also says that when living being is separated from the Supreme Lord and try to enjoy on his own, forgetting him, then very first thing happens, the fear comes in our mind. What happened to me? What will happen my comfort? What will happen my future? What will happen to my family when I die? What will happen to my country when I am no longer president? What will happen? All kind of things arises due to fear that we are separated from the Supreme Lord. Here Narada Muni is saying, it's very beautiful thing that in this world, people are always either people respect you or praise you, disrespect you, or either people criticize or they praise. Sometimes either they respect or disrespect. All these things going on in material world. See, here Narada Muni says that nindana, staba, satkara, ninda means, what is ninda means? To talk bad about somebody, ninda. Behind you, like Damodar Prabhu is gone from this. Sadhu ninda, yeah. Vaishnava ninda, sadhu ninda, all kind of nindas. When Damodar Prabhu leave the room, then we talk about him. So that is ninda. Or the opposite of ninda is staba. Staba, like staba mala, is all glorification, praise of the Lord. Or we praise him. Damodar Prabhu is great, so nice, like that. And satkar means when I come to your home, you welcome me, you give me some satkar, respect, right? Or if I give me some cup of water, or give me some neem oil, tell me that use it to your plant. Satkar, the opposite of satkar means nyakar means I don't respect you. Why did you come? I didn't call you today. Come and take appointment and come next. Artham kalevaram, this is all happening for body. The soul, real soul, Jamuna soul, I have not touched that soul yet. But if somebody say me something bad word, they talk about me, my body and my mind, and I get affected and I become disturbed and I react and I fight and I throw back and all kind of things happens. But here Narad says that this is all happening in the level of body. And the philosophy behind this happening, why this thing happened, why people sometimes respect me and sometimes do not respect me. Like in a family, if you have like a family of if you have sibling, 2-3 siblings, and if one sibling is doing really good and making a lot of money and another one is not doing, the parents will not like the one who will not making good life, making good money or studying very well. One who is making good money, then he is praised, he is glorified. That is naturally happening in this whole world, everywhere. And when we go, then why Krishna keeps like pradhana parayo rajan? Pradhana, what is the pradhana means? All the material energy is called pradhana, material nature. The whole material nature is pradhana. We also can call the external energy of the Lord, also called maya, or whatever we call pradhana. Parayo. Parayo means beyond this material nature. Who is beyond this material nature? Supreme Personality of God. Rajan abhibekena kalpitam. Vivek means what? Wisdom. Wisdom, viveka, if means wisdom, knowledge, light. One is awakened, realized soul. Abhiveki means one who is ignorance, doesn't have knowledge. So abhivekena kalpitam. Kalpitam means to create something, to make it something. So this material, the purpose of the creation of this material world is like a torture chamber for the living being. Torture chamber. But when we talk about torture chamber, and then we might think, why God creates such a torture chamber? Is God really cruel to punish living being? Actually, if we see that great devotees see that this is an operational theater, that the Lord heal the material desires of the living being. They want to enjoy material nature without the presence of God. And this is the operational theater where our operation is done through the experience of this respect, disrespect, welcoming, not welcoming, via fear, all kind of these qualities. They are slowly helping us to understand and to realize that, why this is happening to me? This realization comes whether or not we come to Krishna consciousness, whether or not we come to the association of devotees. Even outside people, in living in a material life, they also feel and experience these things. So when they go through this experience for a long time, and if that is why we have like combination, we have a sorrow and pain, day and night, happiness and distress. If the living being experience only one thing, like only distress throughout his life, he never come to this platform. If one only enjoys his life without any distresses, then they never come to inquire about God. He cannot come to this operational theater. He will not be operated. So God will find him little bit of everything in him, in the living entities. And we earn that. It's not that God is imposing on us, but because of our different kind of desires, sometimes we tend to act in the mode of goodness. Sometimes we tend to act in the mode of passion. Sometimes we tend to act in the mode of ignorance. And we earn some credit from that activities. And they are saved in our account. And we use them when we take different bodies in different lifetimes. And we keep accumulating that pious or impious credit in our account. We keep adding into our account. We have a saving account, eternal saving account, karma account in our life. Yeah. So this way, Krishna let us realize through our experience that why I'm suffering sometimes, why I'm not suffering, why somebody praise me or why somebody criticize me. Same person. Why the people who criticize, they don't see the qualities that other people see the quality in me? Why I am experiencing this severe weather condition now? If you see, go to New York, all the shelves in the grocery stores are empty. People have fear that there might be no food, so we have to store for a few days because of this snowstorm. Where in Arizona we are okay, no problem. This beautiful rain is really irrigating our soil, and all this autumn. This is the second day of the first autumn season. Yesterday was Basanta Panchami. No? Huh? It was yesterday. Yeah, Basanta Panchami means the first day of the autumn season. Spring, yeah. So, yeah. Spring season. Is it correct? Politically correct?
Autumn is fall.
Oh, yes. Anyway, this is the Basanta Panchami begins, new season begins in Basanta Panchami. Mother Saraswati is worshipped in India. And we pray Saraswati, Mother Saraswati every day. Narayanam Namaskritya, Naram Chaivam, Narottamam, Devim, Saraswatim, Vyasam, Tatorja Yadmadiraet. So, this experience make us think, oh, maybe this all what I am doing in this world, maybe it is not true. There may be something, truth exists beyond my experience. Otherwise, why I am having all this mix of all kind of experience in my life? So this is how the Lord does the operation to the living entity so that they can awake from their material dumb consciousness. And Krishna never forced to living being. Otherwise, he could force that. Okay, you belong to spiritual world. You are part and parcel of me. You're supposed to serve me. Your whole goal of life is to establish me in your heart, and then always chant the name of my name and glorify me and talk about me with other people. Parasparam. But he never ever forced. He does not want to take away that minute freedom every living entity has. And love, in this way, no living entities can come to the platform of loving devotional service. The real love can never be awakened by forceful manner. Like, for example, sometimes we at home, we forced our kids to study, to do good. No matter how much we forced, we tell them or chastise them or talk about them, until they internally realize themselves, they can never do any good in their test, in their exam. So same thing in our life. Our gurus give us initiation. They train us in Krishna consciousness. They give us knowledge. They guide us through so many challenges in our life. But ultimately, the real performer is ourselves. Our guru cannot forcefully install that Krishna consciousness into our heart. They can definitely be guide. They can definitely become the source of information, knowledge. But ultimately, I am the one who to do the things on practical level, and then realize that this all what my guru says are true. And if I follow them, then I can advance in spiritual life. So that realization should come from within, from my heart. And that is what Krishna wants every living being realize that this is not the way of life. This is not the way for happiness. This way will not take us to satisfaction in our life. So this ninda, istaba, and then satkara, nyakara. These all are the plan installed by the Supreme Lord and the material nature in order to awake a living being from sleeping state of mind. And once by the good fortune, by the arrangement of the providence, if that living being somehow or other finds the way to associate with devotees. Now, let's talk about ourselves. We all are here in this room. Somehow or other, we were fortunate enough to come to Krishna consciousness by this or that means. Somebody from Russia here came all the way to Nepal, and I saw them in the street of Bagh Bazaar chanting Harinam Sankirtan with beautiful ladies. Then I got chance to come to Krishna consciousness. And we all have our personal stories, how we come to Krishna consciousness. So then this suffering, and after coming to Krishna consciousness, this respect, this suffering, this stuti, this glorification, this praise, we start thinking, oh, these are all for my body. Actually, it's not even for me. In reality, these are all kind of hallucination. Hallucination, what happened in hallucination? Sometimes we see people, but there are no people at all around us. But due to the some health condition, mental state, we see a lot of people are following us. We have a devotee, a very nice devotee, Udaya Krishna Prabhu from Nepal. Udaya Krishna is very senior devotee, is really learned and nice devotee, and he was living in Italy for many years, and he came to Nepal. And then he was in the management. When I was temple president, he was vice president. Then later on, his family broke. He was single, and he was really renouncing personality. He has no attachment, wearing simple clothes and no ego and nothing. It's very simple. Later on, what happened? Somehow he got frustrated with like devotees, politics and fight and all these things. He kind of got really renounced and got vairagya, and he went to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, then later on, what happened? That same thought was evolving in his mind, and slowly he started criticizing devotees of ISKCON. That he slowly left, and then joined other group of devotees. And slowly, now he is completely losing his mind and wandering in the street of Vrindavan Dham, and then he is thinking that these people are chasing him all the time, and he is hiding from everybody. So this is the unhealthy state of mind that one experiences. So the living being, we understand at some point that all this respect, all this criticism of me, all this dualism are actually not for me. These people does not know who I am, and he is all doing for this body and mind. So devotee remain above that state and not affected. And this also determines one's advancement in spiritual life, because the more we are detached and we are indifferent from this happiness and distress and criticism and glorification, respect and disrespect, then the more we are advanced in Krishna consciousness. If we are still struggling in the same thing, like somebody say a little tiny thing, and then I am really affected and I do not show up for 5 days, then my spiritual advancement is like a chunna. Chunna means? Void, zero. So this is, and we have been hearing that once spiritual advancement is tested, how he handled the provocating situation, something like that. Radhanath Maharaj says always, once spiritual advancement is checked, how one react to the provocative situation. So, and these things were created for living being to not to torture them, but to let them realize that they are spirit soul. And then naturally they desire to come to Krishna consciousness. Naturally they desire to get out from this material world. And naturally they have this real renunciation, sense of real renunciation within their heart. And then slowly they can understand everything. We can understand everything. Same thing happens throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam. Great Avanti Brahmana. Avanti Brahmana was humiliated by so many people. The little children would come and pass urine to him. Somebody would come and throw his bead bag, and sometimes they would tie him with the chain like a inmate. What not people did to him. But what did he say at the end? None of these things happening to me are actually happening to me, and these are for my body, but none of these people are responsible to bring all these miseries upon my life. It is all my mind is doing this. So when we awake from this dream that I am this body, I am so and so American and Indian and so, I'm male and female, all these things, this hallucination will follow us, and we will inflicted in this material world, and then we go through the flow. Sometimes we come under the influence of tamaguna. We really become reacting in different ways. Sometimes we are actually acting in the mode of passion, and sometimes in the mode of goodness. So these mode of material nature are actually acting upon us, and we are simply the performer. Like in a drama, somebody act like a king, even though he is not a king, but he act like a king. And or in movie time, some people, when they go to the movie, they just cry along with the movies. When there is some story coming, they cry. They think that, oh, this movie is it's like matching to my life. I cry, and we connect ourselves with the movie. So we are now connecting our soul with the body. That's why we are experiencing all these things. And these experiences are the operation that the Lord does upon us to make us, to awake us from this sleeping state, so that we can realize that I'm not this body. So this is not a torture. This is really a blessing from the Lord. And in order to realize and wake up, what is the way? Is Sravanam Kirtanam is the only way. There is no other way. There is no other way that we can awake from this dream. And this Avanti Brahmana, and also Sukadev Goswami in Srimad Bhagavatam, he says, I have studied all the Shruti Shastra or the Smriti Shastras or the Dharma Shastras, and all the great rishis, they have given their account of their experience in these Shastras, Dharma Shastras. And every single Shastra, every single sage, every single scriptures are unanimously focusing on the devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the only solution to get out from this. You see? He says, Nayam jano me sukha dukkha hetur na devatatma graha karma kalaha. And he says, Manaha param karanam. My mind is the parama karana, the absolute supreme cause of my all these experiences. Sri Sri Gaurnitai ki jai. And he says that Danam Swadharma Niyamo Yamascha Srutam cha Karmani cha Sad Bratani Sarve Mano Nigraha Lakshanantaha. So whatever we do, like Danam, we offer charity. Swadharma, we follow our Swadharma. If we are a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya or Sudra, we are following Swadharma, you know. And Niyama, we follow regulatory principles in our life. Yamas, we do not do the irregular activities, we stop bad things. Srutam, we hear the scriptures. And karmani, we act so many activities, spiritual activities. And sadbratani, there are so many fasting, upava, brata we follow. The goal of all these activities is, he says that sarve mano nigraha, to train our mind. Mind. If our mind is not trained, is not controlled, or not disciplined, then nothing is possible. Everything we do will be useless. So when we delete all these things from our mind and establish Krishna manmana bhava mad bhakto, manmana bhava mad bhakto, I am situated in the mind of my devotees. My devotees' mind is filled with the ideas and thought of me. That's what we are looking for in Krishna consciousness. And we easily tolerate this all external changes that are simply happening for the body, not the soul, and we will not be disturbed and we remain calm. Just like an ocean is always calm, even though thousands of rivers are incessantly coming to it, but ocean is always shanti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any question, any comments? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for the nice class as usual. There's one verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam you mentioned, 7th canto, chapter 1, which is one of my favorite chapters of Bhagavatam. The Lord is not partial to anybody. And it says that the time factor predominates in this world, and because the time factor favors the mode of goodness, the demigods appear to be favored.
Oh yeah. Actually, the Parishad Maharaj was talking about Indra's case, and then there, Sukadeva Goswami is talking a lot about time and mode of material nature.
He says that that the demigods and the sages flourish in the mode of goodness. The demons flourish in the mode of passion, and the yakshas and rakshasas flourish in the mode of ignorance. So that it's more like, because the demigods are in the mode of goodness, time is favoring them. They have longevity, whereas the demons burn out. So the Lord facilitates that, sometimes personally.
So that is very true, and that is not that Krishna is partial to demigods, because they are naturally situated in the mode of goodness, and then everything becomes favorable for them, to think good about Krishna. Whereas Rakshasas, Yakshas, and other Asuras, but they do not see that they blame to God that they are partial to demigods. I mean, yes, they do not see that how their own action, their cumulative reactions of their action is affecting them. They do not see, they don't have that chakshu to see. Pasyatam api na pasyatam. Pasyam api na pasyatam. They see, but they can't see. That's what it is. Thank you so much. Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Pasyan api na pasyatam.
Same place in Bhagavatam talks about how more covered a person is with the lower modes of hariyakamaring, less freedom they have. The pure freedom state, purely serving Krishna. So it's another angle of vision with that. I do have a question, if I may. Yeah, great class, yes, as always. So at what point do we, there's one thing to be like Jada Bharat and just tolerate everything, but we're trying to spread Krishna consciousness here. So, at what point, for example, I'm not saying this even exists, but in an American body, American conditioning, we definitely think of it, since America was founded upon rebelling against authority. and for the good thing. England was really abusing.
Mhm.
So, rebelling against kings. So I'm just using an example. I'm not saying this even exists, because what do I know? But let's just say there is some abuse somewhere, and it's affecting the spreading of Krishna consciousness. Like, let's say you have a leader that just, anybody that joins gets fried out and leaves, let's just say. I'm not saying this exists. I really am not, because what do I know? I really don't. I might be in complete illusion and not see things properly. So, or whatever it might be. I'm just using one example. There could be 1,000 examples I could use. At what point do we then go, well, I should provide some understanding here so that we can spread Krishna consciousness? So,
This is a very, very nice point, important point.
in other words, I don't want to not react, because that's like maybe not the best way to spread Krishna consciousness. If I'm moving in the direction of, see, it's a fine line there. I got to control my own passions and so forth, and go, okay, I'm not going to respond from an illusory perspective, but for the purpose of pleasing Krishna, I'm responding.
It is said that a king, no matter how pious he is, if his citizens are committing crime, naturally he take 1/8% of their crime they commit. Like in material world, in corruption, what happened? Like if I do corrupt, if I am a leader and my another opponent leader also corrupt, and we both are corrupted and we do not bring this point, we keep quiet. Okay, you don't tell anything about me, and I will not tell anything about you. So in this time, in this case, when we are like not speaking against something bad that we have committed, and most of the whole world is going on like this. In family life, if your husband and wife they fight, they call, we have to adjust. Otherwise, if we fight back and forth, then it will end up in divorce. So similarly, when a devotee of the Lord, they understand that this material world is temporary and people are suffering, and I have the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, and if I do not preach, I also become recipient of what I am supposed to do. I'm not doing it. I will be the person take portion of my not fulfilling the responsibility as a preacher. That's why devotee go out and preach to assist the mission of the Lord. So in doing so, when most of the society are in the mode of ignorance, they are completely sleeping spiritually, and our job is to go to them and shake their body and wake them up. And here is the capsule that you can swallow, take, read books, and then become devotee. This is our responsibility. We cannot say, okay, I am devotee, I chant myself, and I stay in my room, and I have my food on time. I am living a free life, happy life, that's fine. I don't want to go and preach. No, we have a responsibility to do so. And there are so many forms of preaching. It's not like single-handedly, like only book distribution is preaching, or only giving talk is preaching, or only cooking is preaching. Every single thing we do in Krishna consciousness is either active or passive preaching. So nothing wrong to do so that. Prabhuji, Hari. Yeah.
I'm limited. Fallen soul, what do I know? But in my experience and hearing from my seniors, it's the proper thing to do to protect other people's Krishna consciousness from whether it be a bad leader or
a new bhakta. I didn't mean it like focusing on a leader. Just a new bhakta. It could be anything.
Yeah, well, in any case, what I've been told and what I found effective, and there are times where I've actually been very heavy with people feeling like I'm going to go to hell. But I actually felt Krishna's mercy because I was really genuinely trying to protect a certain person's devotional service. And I found that my seniors, all of my seniors were pleased by that behavior, even though I felt it very unpleasant. And it was a very fine line, I think. But I think that there's definitely a time where my Guru Maharaj always says, where are the Kshatriyas? Because sometimes you find, these things happen in the Brahmana type devotees, just kind of let it get too far. I think there's certainly a space for that consciousness.
But even in that chastisement, devotees always think good of that person. Will not think that, okay, this person go to hell and suffer, so that I am doing so. Like in early days, king would give death penalty to some criminal, heavy criminal, not to give them death penalty, but to stop them committing more offenses, more crime. That way they would help that person. And Prabhupada talked about it in 7th Canto, that this death penalty by king to help the person, not to punish him, so that he will not commit more offenses. And what happened, how Krishna took the offenses of Sisupal, what happened later? In other Purana, it is mentioned that Krishna thought in his mind, he was not thinking, this guy is really offending me in front of this whole assembly hall, is making me, defaming me, so let me take revenge. No. Wow, this guy is so focused and finding all these qualities of me. And he ordered Mother Saraswati, kindly make all his accusations into a prayer. Can you imagine that? That was Krishna orders Mother Saraswati. Then you are thief. And Mother Saraswati said, yeah, he is thief. He is still the heart of the devotees. Become a prayer. You are lusty. Yeah, Krishna is lusty because he is the master of the Kamadev, and the whole world is attracted to him. Naturally, all these things were like turning into prayer, beautiful prayer by Mother Saraswati. That's why Sisupal was liberated. That is Krishna.
The comment, I find my mind bouncing from Krishna's in control, doing everything. I don't need to get involved here at all, because just what you just said, and regarding that. And then I switched to, maybe I should do something about this. And so how do you know the balance? How do you know when to act and when not to, regarding seeing situations that need what he mentioned, maybe a little bit of a Kshatriya vibe there? How do you know when you should just, this is Krishna's arrangement, I just tolerate it, and it's a test for me. Everything's just fine, to when I'm supposed to do something about this. How do you know the difference? That was the root of my question. So
we have to use, like if we, at that situation, if we are influenced and affected by the mode of ignorance or passion, then better not make any decision at the time. That decision will always a bad decision. So we use a common sense, and at that time, this is where we need common sense. It is hard to do, not easy, but we practice. We are practitioners. We are not perfected being. We are not Nirmat Saranam. We are not yet in that stage, but we use our common sense and what is the best for us at that moment. And am I really affected by anger or the mode of ignorance or lower modes? Or let me step back.
Good point. That's a good point.
So then instead of getting mad, and then if we just remember Krishna, I have one experience in my life. Whenever I am desperately looking something in my mind that I want to enjoy, that I am not getting, immediately I switch and think about Krishna, and that thought go away right away, go away. That thought go away. So we cultivate this practice, this habit, remembering Krishna, slowly and slowly, gradually. You know what my son, Tosan said yesterday, that he got a complaint from teacher. He went to another grade and then opened the door and says, oops, wrong class. He knowingly did that to distract other kids. Then I told you, why didn't you listen and doing the same thing again. And he says, I had a cup of glass and it is dirty water. I'm trying to fill up that, replace that dirty water with clean water every day, bit by bit. So it might take little more time to get all the dirty water into clean water. But I'm trying my best. That's why I said, I like that example. We are trying our best. We do mistakes. We learn from our mistake. We become more mature. We become more strong. And we feel the need of this preaching. We feel the urgency of helping this mass of the people. This all compassion arise once we sincerely involve and engage in Krishna consciousness. At this point, we do not have any feeling for these people. They are suffering. We only know theoretically. But when we realize it, okay, it is really so, how Prabhupada felt. If we simply assimilate with his compassion, then it helps us a lot, I think. And 903, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,